This is the moment when my little pruners of 3 good years finally gave out on me. As the great and fabulous Sharpay Evans would say, out with the old and in with the new, and we can put this Fisker's lifetime warranty to the test. Welcome back to my garden diaries. My name is Leela. I am 20-something gardening and cut flower farming on about 1/8 of an acre in zone 7B, and today we're getting rid of the old and ushering in the new by pruning. I've been putting off this job for way too long because a lot of the things that I'm pruning either didn't even go into full dormancy or they did, but I should have pruned them like a month ago because they're already starting to put on new growth. I have a few things that need pruning around my garden, and I thought we could do a nice kind of chill pruning day. I have never fully pruned anything. I've never really had much of a garden that needed pruning until this past year when I really started getting into cut flowers and bulking up what I have. If you're not familiar, when you grow flowers for cutting or for bouquets, it's helpful to have more than just the flowers. It's helpful to have things with woodier stems and shrubs and foliage and fillers to kind of like make those bouquets look really awesome, and to make the flowers really shine. You kind of need those background dancers, aka the foliage. But first up, we're going to prune this David Austin Roald Dahl rose. I've never pruned a rose, and this is not a tutorial, okay? Yes, I think I know what I'm doing, but I'm not entirely sure. So I'm just, giving it a little haircut, giving it a little trim. Probably the second largest shrub that I own is a buddleia, or a butterfly bush. And this one is the honeycomb. I think it's just honeycomb. I was going to say honeycomb yellow, but it's a yellow buddleia, which I love. Along the side of my garden, I want it to be my yellow and white garden. So this kind of fits in with the theme a bit. It's a yellow buddleia, so it has these like really unique shaped flower groupings. I'm not sure the botanical word, but we needed to bring in reinforcements because at this moment I was like, I don't think these little pruners and snippers are up to the task. So I brought in the big guns, and when I bought this shrub just about a year ago, it was literally like 12-inch sticks, and all of the growth that I am cutting is stuff that came up this past year. So I went hard on this because it is gangly, it is unruly, and I know that it'll just grow and grow and grow. You can see it never fully went into dormancy. We had some pretty cold nights, but I guess not cold enough because this still has green leaves. It's put on new green leaves in the past few months and weeks, so it is just going and going, and it needed a good haircut. Apart from growing my shrub collection, I've also been slowly growing my perennial collection. So this is a euphorbia. I don't know the actual specific kind. I think it's like fire something. It's on the tag, but I don't have the tag. I'm sorry. It's this really pretty gold and like green, but also with the red stems. I don't know. It just stood out to me. in the garden center last year. I'm not sure where I want it, which is why I have it in this pot. And last year I had it on my side garden, like by the side of my house, and it did really well. But I kind of ignored it and forgot about it. So I want to put it in a place where I can actually see it. But this area does get some afternoon shade, which I'm not sure if it'll like that. But look at these stems that I cut. I think they're just so cool. They look like Dr. Seuss, the Lorax trees kind of thing. Just a little bit to the left of the buddleia and the euphorbia, I have quite a few other things, including this, I think it's Matricaria, the tetra feverfew. And one of the fun things about feverfew is you can propagate it. So I'm going to take these little ugly sort of offshoots that are currently in the process of dying, I think. And I'm going to strip off the side leaves that look really sad, the dead leaves that don't need to be there. And also all along the little stalk or the stem are new green shoots that have just started forming within the past, I want to say the few weeks, because we've had some warm weather. And I'm going to strip all of that off and I'm going to just stick them in the soil. I'm not going to do anything special. I'm not going to put any rooting powder or hormone stuff. I'm not going to put them in pots and waste space. I'm just going to stick them in the ground. If they grow, they grow. If not, that's fine. But I love the feverfew. It also has a lot of medicinal purposes, which I've never tried, but apparently it's a very good plant for not just the flowers, but also for medicinal purposes. So it's definitely a plant that I would recommend almost anyone having. I just know how well it grows for me. And the problem with some of these plants that we grow for like cut flowers is that you really can't buy them anywhere. Like you have to know someone who's currently growing it or start it from seed yourself, which not everyone has the time or the space or the ability to start everything from seed. So it's really a shame that they aren't more widely available because they are beautiful plants and I love them. They grow super easy for me in zone 7B. I really honestly just forgot about them last year and they just bloomed and did awesome. So wait, no barking at me. No barking at me. I'm going to just dig a little hole, stick one in, make sure I firm the soil around it so there aren't air pockets. We just had an absolute monster torrential downpour, kind of flash flood situation. So the soil here is very, very wet. So I'm not even going to water these in because they have enough moisture for now, I think. So I'm just going to stick them in. We'll see how they do. While I'm at it, don't forget your weeds. Don't forget to do your weeding because they're going to sneak up on you. Do them little and often. So when I see little patches, I've been trying to snip them up, get rid of those weeds. I have another feverfew over here. I didn't have them in this spot last year, so we'll have to see how they do with the shade that's from that little fence that I have. But I also have in my yellow and white garden this phlox. And if you want to grow flowers, get yourself some perennial phlox because you will love it, okay? It comes in all heights and colors and kinds. And again, for me, at least, it is so no fuss, no muss. Like I just put it in the ground and it grows. And I love this. This is a white phlox. It's David phlox. And it grows tall and beautiful and it blooms for me and it's awesome. Again, I didn't have it in this spot last year, but I think it'll be okay with a little bit of shade. If you watch some of my previous videos, I'm kind of restructuring my walkways, and this is why. This is what this walkway looked like right after that rain, which means that all the mulch that I paid for and put down has just completely washed away. This was fully mulched last year, and I just sort of let the rain do what it was going to do. But I'm going to take the mulch, or what is left of it, and use it in my garden. I think reduce, reuse, recycle can be applied to gardening as well. So I'm going to reduce the amount of mulch I am buying by reusing the mulch that I have and recycling it in other places. There we go. So I'm taking this mulch and I'm actually going to put it around the buddleia. I didn't have too many weeds in this garden bed, but I'm sort of not going to risk it. This is an area that I kind of neglect and forget about when summer gets really busy. So I want as little weeds as possible. I want pretty, low maintenance, easy to manage flowers in this area, which means getting on top of that weed management now. So all of this cardboard you're seeing has actually been outside. Like I have a cardboard box full of cardboard boxes that has been kind of outside in a little bit of a sheltered area, but they're already wet, which makes them really easy to work with. And I also made sure that I doubled them up. So all of the cardboard that you're seeing is actually like at least 2 layers thick because I would fold it over on itself. And that just gives an extra added layer against the weeds. So I'm going to take the mulch that I'm reusing and recycling and putting it on top of the cardboard. Now this mulch might have weed seeds in it, but one of the things I love about mulch is that it makes it so easy to see those weeds. Like if you don't mulch, I find it very, like there's leaves, there's twigs, there's sticks, there's all this other stuff that make it hard to see those weeds, and that's how they thrive. They thrive on deception and sneaking around and hiding from you until you are all of a sudden overwhelmed. So I don't want that to happen to this corner of my garden. So I'm going to be putting some mulch here. And I think I'm going to be seeding that little walkway. I need to figure out the game plan because I don't want to walk on my little, whatever I put there, I don't want to be walking on it as it's growing. Someone suggested clover, and I think that's an awesome idea. But I currently have grass seed. So I kind of want to use the grass seed, and then I will use the clover, and then maybe get rid of the grass, and then have just clover. We'll see. I could try different things out and see what I like. Finally, we are on to our last task. This is my hydrangea. I think I've talked about it before in a previous video, but this is quite literally the very first plant I bought in my garden. Like, it is the first thing, and when we first got it, I had to send my mom to get it at a garden center near her because I don't live near a ton of nurseries and garden centers. And I didn't know anything about cut flowers. I didn't know anything about gardening, but somehow I had come across the limelight hydrangea, and I love the whites and the chartreuse green. And so I was just like, whatever this plant is, I need it. So I had to send my mom with some money to go and buy this plant. And when she went to the nursery, it was in the dead of winter, around this time of year, and she was looking at this plant, and the woman who showed it to her at the nursery was like, yeah, this is it. This is going to grow into a beautiful plant. And my mom was like, are you sure? Like, are you sure you want to spend $50 on this? It looks like sticks. And I'm like, yes, Mom, please. That's what I want. Please get it. Like, I can't find it anywhere else. She's awesome. She got it for me. And this is one of my favorite plants in my garden. I love it so much. I love the colors. But I have never pruned it. I have never pruned it in the 4 years that I've had it. So it's getting a little crazy. It's getting a little chaotic. And last year it bloomed so beautifully for me, but I really want it to be managed. I don't want it to, I don't know, have problems down the road. So I did a good, strong prune. I've never pruned this before, but it blooms on new wood. So I'm hoping that I didn't do anything too bad. If not, it's okay. It's a plant. It'll do things anyways. But yeah, I gave it a hard prune. So hopefully I did something. If I did something wrong, you can tell me, but it's too late to go back. It's too late to go back on that. Anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you for joining me in my garden. I just have these little tasks that need to be chipped away, and honestly, sharing what I'm doing with all of you guys watching, it's like holding me accountable to do these things that I would just probably put off. Anyways, this is kind of the damage that the rain created in my garden, and it was so crazy. It was so flooded, and then all of a sudden the sun came out. My rainwater barrel has been refilled, so we're good for another month or so, which is awesome. And yeah, this is what my garden is looking at the beginning of March. I'm really excited to see how it transforms over the next few weeks, because we are just going to have an explosion of growth in the next month. I think all these little green things are things that are going to bloom really early, probably in May or June, early June. So very, very soon we're going to have flowers again, which is awesome. So thank you for being here. Let me know if you've pruned everything that you need to prune, or if I did something wrong, let me know for next year. And yeah, hopefully me and my new pruners will be up for any more garden tasks that we have. So thank you for being here, and I'll see you in the next one.